Okay, here's our video on translating percent problems. So, when we have, let's just review what a percent is. Remember, percents are based on 100. So all percents are fractions, if you remember. 5% is 5 over 100. Or, so again, if it's 5 over 100, we know it's in the 100th place, so it's 0.05. Or we can just move the percent sign twice, 1, 2, and we get 0.05. So again, remember, 5% is 5 over 100, and 5 over 100 is 0.05. We just moved the decimal, the percent sign, twice, 1, 2, and we get 0.05. So let's look at a question. What is 12% of 9? So we can translate this. When we see what, we don't know what it is, so it's an x, or any variable. We can put a w if we wanted. The is means equal. So, what is? So far we have x is. 12%, again remember, we can't multiply percents unless we change them to decimals or fractions. So this we move twice, and we get 0.12. Now of always means multiplication, so it's 0.12 times 9. So when we multiply 0.12 times 9, we get 1.8. So x equals 1.8. There's another way of doing it by making a proportion. If you're not comfortable with that way, you can do this way. So we do part whole percent over 100. So with the original question, we said, what is 12% of 9? What is 12% of 9? Well, we have the percent, says 12%, so we just put 12. We always put it over 100, because remember, percents are based on 100. Of 9, that's the key, of 9, so 9 is the whole. So now we have our proportion, and we can just cross multiply. When you cross multiply, you're going to have 100x equals 108. Divide out the 100 on both sides, and you have x equals 1.08. So again, we have two ways of translating a problem. Let's try this. What percent of 12 is 3? Okay, so again, what percent? We don't know. It says what percent, so we can just put an x or a w if you want, or any letter. Of means times. We know what 12 is. 12 is 12. And it has to equal 3 because it says is 3. So this, again, we can clean this up. Anytime there's a number next to a letter, it does mean multiplication. This is the coefficient, and that's the variable. 12w equals 3. Alright, so just divide it out. And when you divide it out, you get 0.25. And remember, though, it's asking what percent. So we got to move this twice to get our percent of 25%. If we did it like a ratio, right, it's asking what percent. We don't know the percent. So that's why we put an x here, and it's 100, right? We always put it over 100. What percent of 12, 12 is the whole, is 3? Right? And when we cross multiply, we get 300 equals 12x. Divide out the 12 on both sides. In this case, when we do a ratio, we get the answer right away. It's 25, which means it's 25%. So again, we have two ways of doing this. Let's try this. 25% of what number is 30? Okay, so again, 25%, 0.25. Of means times. Right? What number? 25% of what number? We don't know, so we just put a variable, n or x, is, that's the equal sign, 30. So you're doing 0.25n equals 30. Right? 0.25n does mean 0.25 times n. So just divide it out. Divide out the 0.25. Remember, it's 0.25 on both sides, and w equals 120. Again, you can do it by part whole and percent over 100, right? So again, it says if we go back to the question, 25%. So we have the percent sign, right? We have the percent sign. Percent sign is 25. 25 over 100. Go back to the original question. 25% of what number? Of. That's the key. Of what number? We don't know. That's why the x is in the hole. 25% of what number is 30? That's why we do it that way. Okay? Cross multiply and you get the same answer, which we got. 25%, divide that out, and you get 120. Let's try this question. If 8 out of 20 students are girls, what percent are girls? R also means equal. What percent are girls? Okay, anytime you see out of is just a division. 8 out of 20, that's 8 out of 20. Right? 8 out of 20, just divide it out. 8 goes in the box, 20 goes in the 80. 4 times, you have a 0.4. Remember, with decimals, you move it twice, and you get 40%. So when you see out of, make it a fraction. Okay, that's our video on percents translations, part 1.